We are living in a world unlike any before it. We are growing up in a day of age where, for the first time, attaining knowledge isn't the struggle, it's how we use it. We are in a time where information is not searched for, it searches for us by name. We are alive in the age of the internet. Still, the majority are blinded from the full potential of this masterpiece, built over the last few decades. Social media has taken over the internet, or so it seems. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, it has rewritten how we interact with each other. We are in a cultural revolution, a literary reset, and with eyes glued to their screens, our population remains blind to this. But how? With most of our youth spending the majority of their days scrolling through news feeds, how do they not realize what is happening? Because it's all they've ever known. Nothing has changed to them. It's business as usual. The current generation of youth has never needed library cards, newspapers, payphones, or any other social staples from the last few decades. They just know the internet, the resource that has taken place of virtually all they need. And at the same time, the parents of these kids don't take the time to grasp the magnitude that is the internet. They choose to simply villainize it instead of seeing the breathtaking potential that it holds. I wanted to know what was happening. I needed to get on the outside and look in. I was no different from the rest of my generation, easily spending up to 6 hours per day on the internet. But it was becoming too much. The internet is the ultimate library, encyclopedia, dictionary, and every other resource option combined into one glorious tool. And yet, I almost never used it as such. The time I spent on the internet was starting to drastically affect my grades, work, and free time. I needed to get out. I guess they say you don't know what you have until it's all gone. My name is Sam, and I left the internet. This is Project Disconnected. Hi, so my name is Sam, and I'm a junior here at Smoky Valley High School, and it is day 6 on my month with no internet. See, I knew things were going to change. I knew I was going to start thinking differently. I knew that I was going to see these changes, but I didn't know that it was going to happen this fast. So socially, I can definitely feel a gap forming between me and everybody else. It's really hard to get a hold of me. And so far my friends have made the effort. And I really hope they continue. What are you doing on your computer right now?
I'm on YouTube.
Okay. And how much of your day do you think you spend on the internet?
6 hours.
Okay. And do you think you sleep on a normal night with an arm's length of your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I was sitting at home one day, and I was tired of being unproductive, wasting all of my time on the internet, and I had a crazy thought. What if I just left? And at midnight on November 25th, I turned it all off. Honestly, it was like a sigh of relief. It was like a huge stress had just been lifted off my shoulders. And that lasted about maybe 4 hours. For about 5 days, I just thought about it and I started to miss it. But after about 5 days, things started to change. Towards the end of week 1, in the beginning of week 2, I started realizing changes on how I was thinking. I was thinking more fluidly. It wasn't a big change, it was just I felt uncluttered. And I'm gonna be honest, the nicest part of this whole thing was I had true free time. I had moments where I sat down and I had nothing to do, and I have not experienced that in years. Because there's always something to do on the internet. It's just a fact, there is. Okay, what are you doing on your computer right now?
I'm looking at kittens.
What are you doing right now on your computer?
Watching funny goat video, dude.
Hey, what do you use the internet most for?
Right now I'm pretty much use it just for looking up stuff about motorcycles.
What are you doing on your computer right now?
Looking at memes on Reddit.
What are you doing on your computer right now?
I'm looking up a video on how to safely and stably overclock my CPU.
About how many hours a day do you think you spend on the internet?
I would say an average of about 4.
Okay. What are you doing on your computer right now?
I'm watching YouTube videos and downloading music.
It's day 11. I have a argumentative research paper due. The rough draft is due on Monday. It's Wednesday right now. Everyone else is like done with their research. It's been like one day. I'm like just getting started with my research. I can really say that it's turning into a lifestyle now. The no internet thing. I mean, I really had to make conscious decisions before to make sure that I wasn't using the internet, but now I'm just not using it. Started reading my chemistry book. I guess I was supposed to be doing that before, apparently, but no, I actually am. Whenever people ask me how it's going, I always say same thing: boring and lonely. Boring and lonely. That is my life. I don't know. I don't think I'm as witty as I was. And I feel like at this point I am starting to get behind, news-wise, technology news specifically. I read the newspaper, whatever interests me in the newspaper, pretty often. Yeah, so not much else is new. How many hours a day do you spend on the internet?
About 3.
About 3. 3.
In week 2, I feel like I made a lot of progress in terms of adapting to no internet. It started to become more just a normal thing. I stopped thinking about it. If anything, I was thinking about how stupid it was. Thinking that I was wasting all this time and I wasted so much, and I have. The biggest thing that I realized was 2 things. The way that I see how people use the internet is 2 simple processes. There is consumption and there is expression. And so in the end, what ended up happening was my mind adapted. I started taking huge interest in trivial classes, okay? Things like history, things like, I don't know, chemistry to an extent. The things that you don't have to necessarily sit down and really think to understand. So that is the consumption, okay? What is the output? Well, it's not that big of a deal, but my notes. I started to avidly take notes. Output. Leaving the internet did a lot of good things, but it also did a few bad things. And the one that kind of really sticks out is that it kind of ruined my creativity. I say that because I didn't know what to do on the internet, and it was because I wasn't thinking. I was thinking with restrictions. And the beautiful thing about the internet is that there aren't restrictions. It's that freedom that I really think is what helps it to thrive so much. The internet is an addiction that doesn't go away. And we can say that the internet is a tool, and that is not how we're going to use it. I spend more time looking for productivity applications for my phone than I do being productive. The internet is here and it's not going away. And my only question is, how much more is it going to grow before it stops? Looking back on everything, in comparison to my day-to-day life right now, and my day-to-day life when I wasn't using the internet, when I was completely offline, I was happier when I was off the internet.